I'm here to present my final presentation for EDL 7273. It's called SWTJC QEP, Achieving Together, Engaging Student Success. Here you see three images. We have the Eagle Pass campus, the Uvalde main campus, and the Del Rio campus. So first off, a little background information about the organization itself, Southwest Texas Junior College. Southwest Texas Junior College covers a wide expanse of the southwest rural region of Texas, including areas of Maverick County, which is Eagle Pass campus, Uvalde County, which is the Uvalde main campus, Medina County, Kinney County, Edwards, Real. All right, to begin, I kind of want to frame the idea of quality enhancement before we get into too much technical data in this theory here. This is from a quote by Henry Levin from a text called Those Who Dared. The quote says, "The process of change must rely primarily on the internal transformation of school culture, where the model of change is one that empowers rather than limits the participants' ability to consider the challenges facing the school and establish a unity of purpose." So this is a big key here, and I'm going to talk about the culture and our assessment of the campus culture, organizational culture, as we move forward. But as you guys know, throughout education and throughout organizations in general, it's very rare that you find the empowerment of a broad range of participants within that organization. Typically, our business model runs from top down, where you have decisions made by small groups of leaders. So what is QEP, right? The Southern Association of Colleges and Schools stipulates that accreditation requires institutional commitments to quality enhancement through continuous assessment and improvement. QEP is the second of two institutional reaffirmation documents. It's called the Quality Enhancement Plan. What its purpose is to identify key issues emerging from assessment data. It should focus on student learning and the institutional mission, so a combination of student learning and the institutional mission. And it also should include broad-based organizational involvement throughout the development and implementation processes. So what does that mean? Basically, QEP is one of two important document plans that allow SWTJC to continue to confer degrees and certificates to students. All right, here's a timeline of how we've established QEP here at the college. We began in December of 2013 with a status of QEP survey. This survey attempted to gauge what the college faculty and staff already knew about QEP, what it was, what their role was in QEP in our last iteration. So this QEP is our second run at QEP. We began 2006, 2007 with a QEP that lasted 5 years, and then we had a 5-year planning process for the next iteration, which is this one here. So what this QEP showed us is that we had areas of concern in the college as increased engagement and awareness of what QEP was. So there was very limited capacity as far as understanding QEP and the scope of QEP. And that next January, after we segregated the data from that survey, we had our first general session at the convocation, where we attempted to begin the training of the faculty and staff about QEP, what it is and what it should look like, and what their role in the process is. Also, during that same convocation week, we began our faculty breakout sessions. All faculty were required to cycle through a QEP 50-minute workshop session, where they were asked to document what they hoped the direction of QEP would be after understanding what QEP was, of course. And we have some data I'm going to relay based off of that initial meeting. February, March, that spring, we conducted the same style of workshops, but in the student success, student services and advising division, so the staff side of the house also provided input, and we did this on 3 different campuses. It's hard to get the entire staff into one area, so we actually took we had a traveling caravan of QEP documenters going out to conduct these focus groups in Del Rio, in Uvalde, and in Eagle Pass. Once that was done, we did want to capture the voice. It was very important that we captured the voice of the students in this process, so we conducted final focus groups with the students at those 3 campuses as well. Fall 2014, we began a literature review on what engagement and collaboration was. That way we could create our own localized definition of those terms, seeing as that is the focus of our QEP. Currently, where we're at now, we've just developed the interventions, which are going to be in our first year COLS. It's a student success course. It's going to be in several sections, 4 sections of the COLS classes, and also 3 sections of the English 1301, which is our composition freshman level gateway course. All right, so again, I mentioned the survey early on. What our survey showed was this data here. 61% of our groups in those focus groups, and that's the faculty and staff groups, identified engagement as a key priority for the next QEP cycle. So that was by far the greatest single entity. And the second one was collaborating and communicating excellence. So our ability to collaborate together across divisions, within divisions, across campuses as an organization. Another reason to bolster the communication, this data comes from a separate survey. An outside entity was tasked to come into the college at the end of spring 2014 to create a survey that would gauge our level of communication as an organization. And this here is a word cloud that shows the predominant feedback of areas of concern, right? So it's, one of the main findings was many respondents feel the college needs consistency of communication across all campuses, within campuses, and within departments, right? And there seems to be an issue with top-down communicating, stopping at senior management level. So those are pretty bad marks, right? And pretty areas of concern at least. And you see here top-down communication, junior college-wide communication, schedule of communication, departmental communication, random changes. So we have PTK, which is our honor society, our student government association, our STEM clubs, which is the science and engineering, LBN club, the Chem squad. All these groups came in the focus group, and so these are our most successful students. I'm going to show you some of our data based off of our success rates. You can kind of get an idea of who these students are. But these students talk about a need for more interaction between teachers and students, implementing more student services in the community. And it talks about students aren't on campus regularly. The campus is dead for the most part. The schedule availability of Student Success Center was a huge factor in many of our successes. So they talk about some good things and some areas of that need improvement. Talks about the clubs creating connections that help students. And then here, the last thing, advisors need to change the conversation, stop schedule planning and start talking about life issues, plans, concerns. So they're looking for a redefinement of what engagement, what advising, what interaction between students, faculty, and staff should look like. Of how QEP ties into the greater strategic plan at the community college. All right. Directly from our strategic plan, our 5-year strategic plan, which was just put out this fall, S1-2 asks that we increase the number of first-time enrollees, students who achieve awards and transfers with 30 semester hours of credit. Right, so we want to have an increase from, you see where we're at now, 2012, in math and reading and writing, to significantly increase 2017, 2019. the QEP plans to tie into this objective by affecting the conditions of learning in our small QEP way. So we want to have students participating in target courses will show increased fall to spring retention versus non-participating first-year students. And we believe this will happen through the increased engagement, through the increased interaction and advising that comes with our QEP intervention. So here's the data I spoke about earlier. This is from our ATD, Achieving the Dream data, shows our 3 and 4 year completion and degree attainment rates for first-time enrolled students. The red here shows the 4-year mark, the blue shows the 3-year mark, and if you see these percentages, they're fairly low, right? You see, back when we started collecting this data, we were hovering around 10 and 15%. We have risen, but not greatly. So our highest mark in 09-010 was about 23%. Okay. However, as I mentioned, the students in clubs and work study groups demonstrate statistics that are virtually reversed from this. So you typically have a 75 to 77% success rate from those students who are actively enrolled in clubs, part of organizations, more engaged with faculty and staff processes. All right, next part of our strategic plan and that we're tying into with our QEP is the improvement of student services in advising. Kind of ties back into some of the comments that we received from the student focus groups. And one of our QEP high impact practices, what we broke down student engagement to, was a definition of the identification and defining of several high impact practices, which comes directly from Q, the literature by QKUH, who is the guru on student engagement. One of those high impact practices is advisors being assigned to cohort classes, increased interaction with advisors. So those students who are enrolled in these QEP intervention sections will meet with their advisors at least twice in the semester. And these meetings will not be, degree plan meetings, or it will be following up on the community outreach projects that they'll be doing in conjunction with, that the students will be doing in conjunction with this intervention course. The next one here, library services. Another part of our strategic plan is developing an implementation of a plan that expands current library services to meet the information needs of students, staff, and community. One of our high impact practices, another one of our high impact practices is students being required to participate in a library research workshop and visit the Writing Center at least twice. Okay? The library workshop, we're going to bring our librarians into a classroom setting where they will then help with their expertise, provide their expertise on how to utilize our databases, our research databases effectively, and it'll be in a very hands-on form, so the students will actually be in these computer labs working on compiling this information with the help of the librarians who are our database experts on campus. Our overall goal, and this one, our QEP's overall goal, ties directly into our college's vision statement, which is a foundational statement of the college. The vision statement says they want to Southwest Texas Junior College wants to create and nurture a learning center environment in which students, faculty, and staff, and the community at large can achieve their greatest potential. And I think you've already kind of seen how our plan ties into this. But just to be a little more direct, our Achieving Together QEP hopes to have collaborative learning processes, collaborative, where instructors and advisors are learning from the students just as the students are learning from the instruction and their interaction. Utilize focused advising, community-based learning, and embedded support structures, and also bring students, faculty, and staff together. So it's a constant process. Our QEP is not so much an outcome-based, but more so the processes that go into create an outcome, which we expect will be the thing that moves the bar forward for our students. Thank you for your time, and good luck to everyone.